welcome along to this brilliant match as we bring you the game between West Bromwich and Sheffield United. I'm going to be handing over very, very soon as the teams are about to come out onto the field of play and say a very good evening to your big match commentator today, all the team news, and guide you through the first half, which is over to JB.
Thanks, Russ. And Russ will be joined by Mark Arneman, incidentally, at half-time as the team's just coming out as Russ handed over to me. It's a great atmosphere inside the Hawthorns. Quite a nice atmosphere building up there, and should be an absolute cracker of a championship game. In fact, this is my first actual audio commentary on a championship game in just over 2 years. I actually commentated, believe it or not, on West Brom's first match of that season away at Nottingham Forest. They won by 2-1, incidentally. Both West Brom and Sheffield United, both highly fancied to go back into the Premier League. Both have new managers. Colin Ishmael is the new West Bromwich Albion manager. This is the side he picks. It's Sam Johnston in goal. And then it's Darnell Farlong, Dara O'Shea, Kyle Bartley, Connor Townsend, Jake Livermore, the captain, Matt Clark, Grady Dean Garner, Alex Mowat, Callum Robinson, and Colin Ahern Grant up front for the Albion today. And they're going to play three at the back with Clark, Bartley, and O'Shea, the three centre-backs. Townsend, Mowat, Livermore, and Furlong will play in the midfield with Townsend on the left and Furlong on the right. And it's a three-man midfield up front as well. As for Sheffield United and Slavia, Jokanovic de Serb, who's, of course, done his managerial apprenticeship at teams like Watford in the past. It's Michael Verrips in goal. Then it's Baldock, Basham and Egan. Then it's Jack Robertson, John Fleck, Sander Berg, Oliver Norwood, Ben Osborne, Billy Sharp, the captain, Mr. Sheffield United, of course, and David McGoldrick. And they partner each other. It's a 4-4-2 essentially, with Robertson and Baldock on the flanks, Egan and Basham, the two centre-backs, and Ben Osborne on the left and John Fleck on the right will provide the bullets. And Oliver Norwood and Sander Berg will play in the central midfield. Substitutes: Button, Phillips, Reach, Kepra, Tulloch and De Castro. For Sheffield United, it's Fodringham, the goalkeeper, Jayden Bogle, Ben Davies, who's just signed on loan from Liverpool, Freeman, Ryan Brewster, an ex-Liverpool player, Oliver Burke, and Oliver McBurney as well. And the teams make their customary huddle. I'll just introduce you to tonight's officials, who may be a bit unfamiliar to you. Matt Donoghue is the referee tonight. He's in charge from Greater Manchester. The two assistants are Richard Wild on the far side and Stephen Meredith on the near. And the fourth official down below me tonight is John Budsby. So two teams have just come down from the Premier League, West Brom and Sheffield United. Both have new managers, of course. Ishmael, the West Brom manager, replacing Big Sam Allardyce, who left after their relegation was confirmed last season. And Jokanovic, formerly, of course, of Watford and several other teams. So he knows what this is all about. As the both teams in their familiar colours. Of course, blue and white stripes, West Brom, the Baggies, and red and white stripes, Sheffield United. We're all set to go here. And the players, of course, take the knee in the ongoing battle against racism. And, of course, coloured footballers were first introduced at West Brom with the 3 degrees, of course, back in the 70s. Brendan Batson, Cyril Regis, and the brilliant late great Cyril Regis, he's late great as well, and Laurie Cunningham, who's probably one of the best skillful players that West Bromwich Albion have had in their history. Bagged himself a move to Real Madrid. And they were brilliant in a never to be forgotten old First Division match in New Year's Eve 1978 at Manchester United, where they won 5-3. If you don't believe me, there's plenty of video highlights of that match on YouTube. And believe me, you wouldn't want to miss highlights of that one, because I tell you what, I've looked back at it and it's a cracker. Right, anyway, we're underway. And whilst I was giving you that history lesson, and West Bromwich Albion have got the first throw in, it's going to be taken by Darnell Furlong, who who plays, of course, on the right-hand side of a four-man midfield. And he's dried the ball up on the near side. It's almost in line with the edge of the area as the throw comes charging in. And the ball is knocked in there and a goal already with inside what? 1 minute and 6 seconds. Robinson tapped the ball in, but I think the flag has gone up for offside. There's a bit of a crowd scene inside that penalty area. Furlong's throw did cause a lot of problems now. Was there a possible push on the goalkeeper? Yeah, Robinson's offside. And it comes off him, and of course, he becomes active when he's offside there. So the referee assistant there, good spot there by Steve Meredith. But almost the dream start for West Bromwich Albion inside 90 seconds at the Hawthorns. And of course, we'll keep you up to speed, of course, what's happening around the country tonight, because we've got some championship scores now. Already a goal in the game again. These are from last night. There's some scores from last night, as you can see, but we'll try and get you up to date throughout the evening. There's matches that are already underway, of course, at not too far down the road, involving Birmingham City, who beat Sheffield United on opening day. You may remember by a goal to nil. And our old colleague Matt Isles is instead you not too far down the road at St Andrews, commentating on that one for the Birmingham Football Club channel. And we wish, of course, Matt Isles is obviously missed by us all, but nice to see our old colleague really doing a splendid job there. And I just wanted to give him a mention while we were on the subject of Midlands football. Anyway, Sheffield United, 1 point from their first 2 games. West Brom, just the 4 points from 2 games, a win and a draw. Both amongst the pre-season favourites to go up back into the Premier League. Both are capable on any given day. Sheffield United really found the going very frustrating in the first game. Now, this is what happened. First header on where was by I'm just trying to work out who that was, number 9. Well, anyway, Callum Robertson was offside. It might have actually been Clark. He was well in there as well. So, anyway, it's a goal kick anyway, regardless of what happened before. And there's been a goal at Middlesbrough 1 QPR, and Petsu, after 7 minutes, has given Middlesbrough the lead up at the Riverside. Neil Warnock looking to win another promotion this season. Obviously, financials are a bit tight at Middlesbrough these days, but he's no stranger to winning promotions on a shoestring budget. Of course, Sheffield United, one of his former clubs. Of course, Warnock is a boy of blade, but he's not in charge of them anymore. Famously took the club up and was relegated the year later because of the Carlos Tevez affair. It still wrangles with certain sections of the club to this very day. 4 minutes gone then at the Hawthorns. Albion, West Bromwich Albion 0, Sheffield United 0, if you've just joined us. This is number 19, Robinson, Jack Robinson, getting the ball back. John Egan. A lot of people are surprised that he's still at the club. You consider that he's still highly rated and he's a good defender. I'm amazed that a lower end Premier League club didn't snap him up really in the summer window, because I think he's a quality player, though Aaron Ramsdale could well be on his way. Not in the 18th tonight. Here's Ben Osborne now down the left-hand side. Plays the ball back towards the edge of the West Brom penalty box, but it's knocked away once more. Here comes number 3 now for West Brom in the headband. That's Connor Townsend. He picked up a head injury in the last match. Still 0-0. And we're live on all platforms tonight on the Commentary Hub. So we're on the Commentary Hub 2, JB Sports, and J-DAC Football, Storm FM, and of course Twitter, Periscope, and Twitch. 5 minutes gone, 0-0. West Brom did have the ball in the back of the net, but it was cancelled out for offside against Callum Robinson, who did knock the ball into the back of the net from a very active offside position. He was at least about a yard, maybe a yard and a half offside as he tapped it in past Verits from very close range. There's Sam Johnston in the England squad that got to the Euros final during the summer. Good chest control there by Donald Fowler. Did well to get the cross in, just couldn't find Karen Robinson inside the penalty area, and Sheffield United hook it away. But West Brom certainly taking the fight to their visitors earlier on there, and Darnell Furlong gave Jack Robinson the slip there, although I have to say he used his arm, and I'm amazed that Stephen Meredith didn't see that, because it was he must have seen that there. The arm was clearly out, but it wasn't given. Still West Brom 0, Sheffield United 0. Throw to Sheffield United in line with their 18-yard box. Yeah, Furlong definitely used an arm. I should tell you that because we're in the Championship tonight, there is no VAR on display. So no VAR required. And so we're going to have the... there we go. Not that John Egan, the horse racing jockey, didn't even know he was a jockey. Anyway, back to the game. And here's the aforementioned Egan. Gets the ball out towards Robinson. Robinson coming down the left-hand channel for Sheffield United. Has to go back and use John Egan as his centre-back. The centre-back as a colleague, as it gets the ball back now to Michael Rips. Of course, massive talk that Aaron Ramsdale is going to be on his way. There was talk that he was going to Arsenal. We're not sure how accurate that speculation actually was. But he's not in the side tonight, as the ball is back to Michael Verrips again. He's playing out from the back. They're usually playing a fight. Sheffield United, of course, the last 2 or 3 seasons, certainly under the previous manager, Chris Wilder, certainly like to play 3 at the back. They don't normally play 4, not in the last 2 years that I've been covering them anyway, and since they've been in the Premier League. So this is 4-4-2 for them tonight. So it's a little bit different to what they're actually used to. But of course, Jukanovic, the manager, has obviously got his own ideas and ways of playing, from obviously as opposed to Chris Wilder, I suppose. There's a long ball not forward by Johnston. As I said, he was in the England party for the European Championships, and the unused substitute throughout all the matches that England put, the 7 matches England played. 3 group games, the last 16, quarter-final, semi-final, the final. Did win a medal, did pick up a runners-up medal at Wembley that night, as Billy Sharp is fouled about 10 yards inside the Albion penalty area. Just to remind you where the teams are attacking in the first half. West Brom are attacking the goal to our right. Sheffield United attacking the goal to our left. So just to remind you there's the referee, Mr. Donoghue of Manchester. So it's going to be Oliver Norwood. Player born in Burnley, incidentally, although he's never played for his hometown club. He's actually born nearby Burnley in a little town called Nelson. You might have heard of it. That's how it came about for him. And the offside flag has gone up on the free kick. Free kick then to West Bromwich Albion. We're coming up towards 9.5 minutes gone in the first half. Let's try and keep you abreast of what's going on elsewhere. So at the moment it's Birmingham 0, Bournemouth 0, Hull 0, Derby County 0, Middlesbrough 1, QPR 0, and Nottingham Forest 0, Blackburn Rovers 0. And they're all the latest scores from tonight's Championship games. Throw in to West Bromwich Albion, is it? Yes, it's going to be left now to Connor Townsend to throw in line with the 18-yard box of Sheffield United on the far side of the field here at the Hawthorns. In deepest black country, just outside the second city of Birmingham, of course. Always fierce local rivalries here. They've got 3 clubs in the locality. As that throw comes back to Townsend again, who hooks the cross in, but it's straight down the goalkeeper Berwick's throat. West Brom have got some tasty local derbies to come, in the Midland derbies to come. They've got Nottingham Forest, Derby County, of course, and not mentioning from the west, we've got Stoke City to play, Coventry City, and of course their Old Falls from about 3 miles down the road, Birmingham City, who I've actually chosen as an outside tip to win the playoffs in my predictions with the commentary hub. So that'll be, there's always a surprise package, and I think Birmingham could be one of those teams. Anyway, the ball has been won in the centre circle, and here goes a chance by Granted. He tries to get Robinson away through the centre, but out came Michael Verrips, who took the ball very calmly there. And looking good there, replacing Aaron Mousdale in the starting lineup tonight. Of course, Ramsdale, the subject of much speculation of a move back to the Premier League. He was also a backup goalkeeper in England's Euro 2020 run to the final when they lost, of course, to Italy on penalties. Not that you need reminding the listeners, but of course, obviously, of course, we know what happened there. We brought it to you. I'm looking at David McGoldrick, shaven head, huge big beard. Make Captain Birdseye look redundant. Anyway, well taken, and it's Albion now coming forward, and it was looking, and they were looking for Callum Robinson. Ball touched back to Phillips, Verrips, who gets the ball away, and the ball should be ushered back to Sam Johnston, who was put in a little bit of a pickle there, but he managed to keep it in by the byline, and might just get Darnell Furlong away on this near side. The ball stayed in. Here's Furlong getting the ball in there, little touch back, and in the end, the Albion attack broke down because Robinson tried to play a 1-2 there and just couldn't succeed in doing so. And I think he was trying to get Dengana in down that right-hand channel. And in the end, West Brom made a little bit of a Horlicks of that. And here's Norwood now to win it midway inside his own half. And Norwood trying to get the ball forward. Well cut out there by Bartley. Now the ball knocked forward. A long ball now looking again towards Dygana. And he keeps it in there. And he couldn't keep it in by the quarter quadrant. It is a throw-in just by the near quarter quadrant. Excuse me, to Sheffield United. Excuse me there, folks. Just a little sneeze. Just a little sneeze there as well. Celtic in the Champions League 1-0 against AZ Alkmaar. That's actually a Europa League game. Van Ashi has scored the goal in that game. Well, Spurs playing the Nations League, of course, later this week. They're qualifying to get in, not in the Nations League, in the Europa Conference League, the new third European tournament that's been set up by UEFA. Although there's been a lot of question marks about that, about the nonsensicalness of it. Well, why don't they just bring back the Cup Winners' Cup like it used to be? But maybe I'm just an old nag trying to keep the olden days alive. I don't know. But anyway, we're coming up to a quarter of an hour gone in this all-action championship game at the Hawthorns between West Brom and Sheffield United. We'll try and keep you up to date with the other 4 championship games taking place. These are all 7:45 kickoffs. All the scores that are going through the screen, or tonight's latest scores are going across your screen. But we'll try and bring them up there. They kicked off at 7:45. This is an 8 o'clock kickoff. Robinson getting that ball out of it as well. Jukanovic having a few words to say to 4th official John Busby down there. If something had gone on there, but once again the towel being used again for Darnell Furlong's rather long throw in. Passes it back to an Albion supporter. It's going to be launched down midway inside the United half, Sheffield United half, and it was launched into that penalty area, back in line with the 18-yard box, and again causes problems. Comes out again to the far side. Albion still have it on that far side. Very hard to tell who's who because the shirt numbers are darkish red, and it's dark blue it's dark blue and white stripes that they wear. So it's not easy to spot the who's who at the moment. The ball knocked forward and a chance in down the goal. Is it? No, offside. And I think it was Grant this time. He may have been flagged offside by Stephen Meredith, who's got the 2 offsides, I think, completely and utterly right. Let's have a look at that again. Was it? Well, it's nodded back in. Yes, I think he's just off there. There wasn't much in it. Certainly on the second phase. Certainly was on the first phase. And certainly was on the second phase. I think the referee and the assistant here were absolutely right there to disallow that goal. And here come Albion again inside the penalty area again. They're having a good bit of joy, but Sheffield United having a few problems here. Free kick to Sheffield United, foul on McGoldrick over on the far side. It was Matt Clark who tagged him there. One of the three centre-backs in the Albion side. 16 gone. And it's 0-0. 2 goal. And yeah, the game against Pacos de Ferreira. And no Kane in the squad for Spurs. So that tells you that Kane could well be on his way then to Manchester City. A lot of Spurs fans at the moment saying that Kane should go because it won't settle. I mean, they didn't really need him on Sunday, did they? When they beat Manchester City, Sung Yong-min took his goal ever so well. Jukanovic's side are certainly under a lot of pressure from these long throw-ins. That's almost led to 2 goals, both disallowed. But no legal goals have been scored here tonight in this game anyway. Let's have a look what's... we'll try and get a recap on what's going on elsewhere as soon as we get a breaking play. But if you are listening to us without TV, the score will be flashing on a little ticker at the bottom of your YouTube screen. As number 19 then, Robinson takes the throw-in, back to John Egan. Egan now inside his own half, looks for Basham. Basham gets it out to the far side. And that's knocked forward again. And Baldock has lost it, but Basham now to hook it forward. A long ball over the halfway line. Deep halfway inside West Brom's territory. It's nodded away for a throw-in by Dara O'Shea. And it's a throw to Sheffield United, almost midway inside the West Bromwich Albion half of the field. Dildo, if you just joined us on the Commentary Hub, on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel, Commentary Hub 2, JB Sports, J-DAC Football, and Storm FN, our broadcast partners for the season. Our streaming partner is Melon, and of course we're also on Twitter, Periscope, and Twitch as well. If you want to join us on any of those platforms, if you've not got YouTube, you can join us on those 3 other platforms as well. 2 goals for Albion, disallowed for offside on both occasions as Sam Johnston's got the ball now in his hands. 18.5 minutes gone here at the Hawthorns. West Bromwich Albion 0, Sheffield United 0. On kick from Johnston towards the edge of the area for Sheffield United. Headed away coolly there by John Egan. And now a free kick surely given to Sheffield United. It was a foul there on Sander Berg. And a free kick just inside the centre circle. Still inside Sheffield United territory. It's a big long bomb there from Sam Johnston that had John Egan having to concentrate like mad. And in the end, he was up to the challenge, and Sheffield United now won a free kick just inside their own half. I don't even know whether he's going to take it, and he's played a dangerous ball out towards the far side there, where he found George Baldock there, and Baldock has to get it back to Chris Basham. Basham then knocks it back to his goalkeeper, Verips, who's been beaten twice, but illegally twice for offside. And we'll keep you up to date with Celtic and how they're going in their Europa League match as well. Also elsewhere, we've got Middlesbrough 1 up at the moment. Hull and Derby are still level. Wayne Rooney's side beaten against Peterborough. Things don't get any easier when you're at the bottom end of the championship. Wayne Rooney has been hounded in the press for all sorts of things off the field. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Here's Sharp inside the area for Sheffield United. What a good tackle that was. And he had to time it well there, O'Shea, because Billy Sharp inside that penalty area. As we all know in the championship, McGoldrick had played that ball forward. And O'Shea did really well. Just got a foot in there. And he had to time it there. Bartley was beaten to the punch there by McGoldrick. And Sharp was nicely tackled there by Dara O'Shea. Kept his composure, kept his cool. Otherwise, I would have fancied Billy Sharp certainly inside the last 6 or 7 yards of the penalty area towards goal. You'd have fancied him close range to score the opening goal for Sheffield United, which, let's be frank, would have been totally against the run of the play. Anyway, Albion have it again. They're playing the ball around with a lot of freedom, and Furlong can't be found, and it's a goal kick. And it does feel weird that it isn't a Premier League game, but we do cover the Championship on this platform very extensively. And it's lovely to have you with us. And let's just keep abreast of all the other scores at the moment that we have for you then. So Birmingham 0, Bournemouth 0. These are latest scores. It's a goal kick while I'm talking to you. So it's 0-0 between Birmingham and Bournemouth across the road at the City at St Andrews. Hull and Derby 0-0 up in Yorkshire. Middlesbrough 1, QPR 0. Only goal of the night so far. And Nottingham Forest 0, Blackburn Rovers 0. Here's the ball played forward towards Dean Garner. Can't be found. And then Sheffield United just hoof it back to the penalty area of West Brom and to Sam Johnston, to the Albion goalkeeper. Baggies 0, Braves 0 then. Coming up towards the halfway mark of the first half. And here's O'Shea, one of 3 centre-backs for Albion tonight. It's a long ball forward, but it's into no man's land behind the Sheffield United byline for a goal kick to the Blades. As we look at Israel, the West Bromwich Albion manager, taken over, as I say, from Big Sam Allardyce during the summer. Allardyce didn't want another 46-game stressful sort of season. And Slavsa Jukanovic there, the Serbian coach. Of course, he's Ismail. He's half French, half German, I'm told. In amongst the Albion crowd. His Fleck tries to win the ball, but he's lost out again. Dan Garner comes away, middle of the park now, deep inside the territory. Here's Grant laning off. It's again, Blaze defenders getting in the way, but they lose possession. Chance now for the ball to be chipped forward again. And Albion mainly making inroads, but just can't get the finishing touch in that final third at the moment. As Verrips now takes possession for Sheffield United. Bowls it short to John Egan, still inside the penalty area. And plays out from the back. Very dangerous play. A lot of teams now in all divisions, most teams, apart from possibly a few teams, including Burnley, that do like to play out from the back. And here is Michael Verrips again. He again gets it to the left-hand side of John Egan. Now, a chance now for Robinson to get the ball forward. With a touch back, and Robinson might get on the end of this one too. Osborne is in there very strongly there. Fleck was there too. Bartley now to knock the ball forward for Albion. And the header was won there by Basham, half-headed away. Little game of head tennis going on inside there, but here's Dan Garner. Dean Garner now towards the area. Furlong is there on the right-hand side. Furlong's first time cross, it's Robinson. It's a corner to West Bromwich Albion. We've had 24 minutes of the first half at the Hawthorns and still no breakthrough. 2 goals for Albion, both disallowed. One against, both against, I think, Karen Robinson, as it turns out. We've waited 24 minutes. It's the first quarter of the match, incidentally, of this game. But of course, I'll have to choose a man of the match. And man of the match, I'm proud to say, this season are sponsored by Commentary Services. Anyway, it's going to be the corner to be taken by Alex Mallett, number 27. Mallett will take it left-footed from the right-hand side. Near side as we look. As Mallett steps up, goes short here, and they left an Albion player. It might have been Livermore completely unguarded, undetected. And Osborne, or rather, sorry, Fleck knocks the ball out of play. A couple of Sheffield United players just feeling a little bit. Ben Osborne being one of them at the moment. And I'm just looking to see if there was anything untoward. Osborne has injured himself in blocking. In fact, it wasn't. It was, in fact, it was Grant who had the shot, which was charged down by Osborne. It's going to be one of those Darnell throws again. He's used his little trick of wiping it Dave Challoner style with the towel. Still deep inside Sheffield United territory. And the referee is just stopping him from throwing it in because there's a lot of jostling and pushing inside that Sheffield United 6-yard box. 25 minutes gone, nearly 26 gone at the Hawthorns. Still 0-0. His fella comes up, throws it into the penalty area. Long and direct, and a header, one and a goal! And this one does count this time. West Bromwich Albion go in front. They haven't marked up on the Darnell Furlong throw. And I'm just wondering who got the touch there. Well, Furlong is upon the supporter that threw him the towel. Sheffield United aren't too happy about the problem we complained. There's the throw. I'm just going to work out who got the flick there because it was a bit of a crowd scene. Let's see who got the touch. It was an own goal. Just trying to work out who it was. And it was Robinson with the own goal. So Albion in front. It's an own goal by Jack Robinson. That took a bit of sorting out. He's backhanded it past Michael Verrips. And West Bromwich Albion are in the lead with 27 minutes of the first half played. Jack Robinson, own goal, but they didn't really mark up from the throw. They haven't learnt their lesson from the two previous long throws from the right-hand side from from Donald Furlong. But certainly Robinson took his good chance well. But here's Sharp at the other end. McGoldrick's onside. McGoldrick, he scored as he knows, he's put it wide. I thought he'd equalised. I think half the Hawthorns thought he'd equalised. I thought he found the bottom right-hand corner. He hit the right-hand stanchion and it's gone behind. I think it might have hit the side netting. But very vulnerable in defence. They relaxed Albion there for a second. I thought he'd equalised. Yes, he's hit the back stanchion and it's hit the back of the net. The wrong side of the net, admittedly. But Sheffield United, in an instant, could have been level. And McGoldrick knows it. He's beating his fist onto the floor there in absolute horror and disgust. Well, Sheffield United should have been level there, but they didn't take the opportunity. But it was Albion's own fault because they were still celebrating after scoring that own goal from the throw-in. So it's Albion 1 up here against Sheffield United. But here's Ben Osborne for Sheffield United. They really need to start motoring. That opportunity was the start of it. Albion 1 point from Albion 4 points from 2 games before tonight. Sheffield United 1 point from 2. Could be 1 point in 3 if it stays this way. Line 20th at the start of play. It was a mistake by Bartley which put Sharp in, and he put a lovely cross ball which bisected the West Brom defence, the 3-man West Brom defence who had parted so badly. And usually McGoldrick should really bury those. Very competent championship scorer, has been in the past for other teams. But it is 1-0. An own goal scored by Jack Robinson from a Darnell throw. Darnell Furlong throw in. I'm getting in a bit of a muddle. Been a long day. Anyway, here's Robinson with the throw-in. Deep inside Albion territory on the near side. 29 minutes gone. Own goal from that throw from Furlong by Jack Robinson. And what's happened here? McGoldrick's got himself another throw-in. And there's a little confrontation. I think McGoldrick and Livermore are having plenty to say for themselves. And I think referee Donahue wants to have a word or two. Yeah, there was just a little bit. Furlong barged into McGoldrick. McGoldrick had a little go back at Furlong. Raised his finger to his lips there. And I'll be amazed if McGoldrick doesn't get in the book. He's going to get a booking for that. And McGoldrick knew exactly what he was doing. It's retaliation. He can't get away with that. McGoldrick's furious about it, but I've seen the replays, and I'm sure if you're watching this game and listening along at home, you've seen the replay as well. I don't think McGoldrick had a case to answer, so he's now the first recipient from memory of a booking. And Darnell Furlong now will take the throw. Albion 1 up, on goal from Furlong's long throw by Jack Robinson. I'm sure the lads back in the studio will have a few words to say about that. Are West Brom allowed to use towels and all that? There'll be a lot of controversy over that. But anyway, back to the game, and it's Berg now on the break, and he's won himself a corner off Bartley. On the near side, it's Sheffield United's first corner of the match. Goes after half an hour. This is what happened. Furlong just barges into him a little bit, and there's no need for McGoldrick then to react like that. I think that's indefensible, really. Anyway, it's a corner kick to United, and it's short now. Back once more. Well, it's a bit of a disappointment, really, as the ball is chipped forward now towards the back post. It might turn out to be an opportunity there, and Robinson in there with a half chance inside the area, which was blocked. Robinson, of course, tried to atone for his earlier own goal misdemeanor. And a little bit of a collision over on the far side. I think Townsend's one of them, and Billy Sharp the other. It's hard to keep up with the pace of this game, I'm telling you. It's definitely Connor Townsend who's gone down there. The man who's picked up an head injury he's wearing a bandaged headband. Bit of a off the ball collision, nothing untoward between Townsend and Billy Sharp. It was Billy Sharp, yeah, just a little coming together between Sharp and Townsend there. The free kick to West Bromwich Albion. And so far in the Championship, Forest 0, Blackburn 0, Birmingham 0, Bournemouth 0, Hull 0, Derby 0, and of course Middlesbrough 1, QPR 0. They're all half-time scores. I'm reliably informed. So they're all 7:45 kickoffs. This is an 8 o'clock kickoff. We're inside the last 15 minutes of the first half. And at the moment, it's Albion's night. By the looks of it so far, West Brom leading by a goal to 0. On goal by Jack Robinson. From Darnell Furlong, long throw in from the right-hand side. I think it was more level. I think it was a little bit more in line to the edge of the penalty area than I actually thought it was, actually. But yeah, it's hard to tell with these long throw-ins when they're coming launched into the penalty area from the flanks. It's a hard game to tell, certainly when it's down on your side of things and you're looking at it from the near side. Anyway, 33 gone in terms of minutes, and it's West Brom 1, Sheffield United 0. They have had chances. Albion, Billy Sharp had a chance before O'Shea tackled him right at the very last second. That was at 0-0, and just after West Brom had scored, again, Sharp laid in an opportunity there for David McGoldrick to try and equalise, but he hit the shot wide with his right foot. And he hit the right-hand stanchion at the back of the goal, defended by Sam Johnston. He was now a fully fledged England international, even though he didn't make an appearance at the European Championships in the summer. Why wouldn't you not make it? Well, not with if you've got Jordan Pickford in goal, who's keeping clean sheets left, right, and centre. There's no way Sam Johnson was going to get into the squad, was there? Anyway, here's Michael Verrett, who didn't have a prayer on the goal. That was nodded past him so far. This is John Egan, former Sheffield United skipper, of course. Down on it now with Billy Sharp these days. And here's George Baldock now bursting down the Sheffield United right-hand flank. Again, any potential Sheffield United attack breaks down, and the ball ushered back to Sam Johnston, who's not had a real save to make. Here's Connor Townsend on the far side now, the left-hand side for West Bromwich Albion. Back to Matt Clark, who's one of 3 centre-backs, incidentally, for the Albion tonight. Flicked on towards Diane Garner. But John Egan read the situation perfectly there. Used his strength, let the ball run out of play. And Sheffield United get the goal kick. With coming up now to exactly 10 minutes towards the break. Was any stoppage time at the end of the first half. Celtic are 1 up against AZ Alkmaar at half-time in the Europa League qualifier as well. Of course, Spurs in action later this week. Tomorrow in the Conference League playoff. No Harry Kane in the squad, which tells you everything you need to know about that particular saga. The more said about it, the better, really. As the ball is headed back by Egan, back to goalkeeper Verrips. who's had a decent game despite being beaten. It was an own goal which he could do little about from Jack Robinson. Just caught him on the hop a little bit. At the moment, Sheffield United do have in the last sort of 5 or 10 minutes. I've had a good chunk of possession, quick throw taken, but Egan read the danger pretty well, then hooks it out towards the far side. It's not back in there by Bartley. Now the ball knocked forward by John Fleck. Sharp can't control it with his chest on halfway, and Albion have possession. There's an Albion player gone down there. I can't, no lie for me, tell who it is. It looks like Alex Mowat who's gone down there. And I think the referee stopped it. Mowat is just limping slightly. It was a challenge there with Oliver Norwood. And it was a late challenge by Norwood, which wasn't spotted by Mr. Donahue, the referee from Manchester. But at the moment, all the other matches in sort of coincidentally, Birmingham 0-0, Hull 0-0, Nottingham Forest 0-0, but Middlesbrough leading against QPR, their own half-time scores. Celtic leading their match in Europe by a goal to 0. Their own half-times. We're about 8 minutes away plus stoppage time from our match coming to half-time here on the commentary hub. And Caelan Grant has won a corner for West Bromwich Albion, who lead by a goal to 0. On goal scored from a Darnell Furlong throw-in by Jack Robinson. It's going to be Furlong who's going to take this corner on the far side then. Right foot in swinger, I'm sure. Again, the usual suspects jostling and pushing inside the Blade 6-yard box at the moment. At the moment, the Blades are being blunted by a spirited Albion performance. Furlong will send this corner in from the far side. Flick on the near post, and it was a dangerous little flick as well. Couldn't tell who it was. Think it might have been Clark. It was Clark. Flicked it on at the near post, and it could have gone anywhere, but it's gone out for a corner kick to Sheffield United. Yes, just caught flicking it on there, and the ball running in out of touch. Let's see if it got the last touch. Well, it wasn't Clark. In fact, it was Bartley who got the last touch. Bartley, in fact, who got the last touch. I thought it was Clark from the initial naked eye, so to speak, but having looked at a replay from the reverse end to where we are, then it actually came off Kyle Bartley's head last, but it was a goal kick. We're absolutely sure as Grant tries to come charging forward once again. Here's Townsend on the far side for Albion, and Townsend lays the ball in there to Robinson. Grant and Diagana wait in the middle as the cross comes in from Robinson towards Diagana. And he'll come out here to Mowat, who strikes it left-footed, and he strikes it over the top of the bar. And a goal kick to Sheffield United. And Alex Mowat, who's played in the Championship now for many, many seasons, knows what this league is all about, of course. Took it on the chest and then hit it left-footed, but hit it well wide and over the top for a goal kick to Sheffield United. Still 1-0 to West Bromwich Albion. You're listening to the Commentary Hub in association with our broadcast partners, JB Sports, Commentary Hub 2, J-DAC Football, and Storm FM. We're also on Periscope, Twitter, and Twitch, and our streaming partner is Melon. You can download that app now. Plenty of nice things on it. Meanwhile, a throw in now to West Bromwich Albion. Conceded there by George Baldock from Sheffield United. The throw's been taken short there by Townsend, who crosses in. And did it deflect? I think it might have, you know. But Carmen Ishmael, the manager, will be delighted about that. It is a corner, and Furlong will no doubt go and take this corner. We've had 40 minutes almost. We've now had 40 minutes. We've hit the 40-minute mark in the Sky Bet Championship. For Wednesday night here on the Commentary Hub, and it's a corner kick to Albion. I think I make that 4 corners that Albion have had. And here's Darnell Furlong to take it now. Can he get that second goal and give Albion that bit of breathing space they so desperately want at this moment in time? The second goal would be a huge insurance policy for them. Furlong's corner into the area. Header ones again by Bartley, I think it was. It was Bartley, I think. And he needed a bit more of a better contact, and it might have been 2-0. Let's have a look. In fact, the ball played in. Yes, Bartley. And the goalkeeper, Ferrips, was in a little bit of no man's land because he was in a bit indecisive. He was a bit sixes and sevens, if you like. He was a bit undecided whether to come or just stay at home. Stick or twist, if you like, if you play the game of cards. But if Bartley had got better contact, I think I'd have fancied that being 2-0. But it's not been another saleable leave. And Mike has got some transfer news involving Aaron Ramsdale. Rumours going around on Twitter that Ramsdale to Arsenal has had fee agreed, and that Ramsdale in fact wants to move and has agreed personal terms. And that is to be decided, I believe, in the next few days. But we'll find out in due course, of course. But it looks like Aaron Ramsdale, if reports are true, as Sheffield United get a goal kick, looks like going to be an Arsenal player. We'll try and get Mike's views on that potential signing at half-time with Russ Vernon, who are going to be talking you through the half-time sequence and the latest championship scores. Of course, second halves were kicked off by the time we've finished here the first half. So any goals going in between the first and second halves here. Russ and Mike will keep you up to date during the break. Here in this one that we're following, it's West Brom 1, Sheffield United 0. And Diagana again on halfway. Challenged there by Ben Osborne, who's trying to make some good runs down the left, but not with too much success at the moment. Oliver Norwood knocks the ball out. Former Huddersfield and Reading player, of course, as I say, born in Burnley. Here is the aforementioned Norwood now, just to the left of the field. He started in field there as Flex starts another break. Tries to get Osborne down on the left-hand flank, and he's got there. Osborne's cross from the left, gets a little deflection, but Goldrick's onto it. But Goldrick inside the area, he goes down, but tries to keep the ball. And he's doing so well. I think he might have fouled an Albion man, but the referee didn't want to know about that. Bartley thinks he should be a free kick. Throw-in given. And Israel, the coach down there, is absolutely besieging Mr. Donahue, and Donahue's going to give him a bit of a warning here. I don't think I've seen Israel so pumped up during this first half, but Mr. Donahue is having a few words to say to him. Of course, we had that famous incident at in the Charity Shield game some 2 weeks ago with Pep Guardiola, who sort of argued in a bit more of a meeker way than what Israel did and got a yellow card for it. I'm amazed he hasn't been booked, to be fair, because his protests were quite vehement. Let's just confirming the story at the moment as the corner kick has been given to Ramsdale's current club, Sheffield United. So that clears up why possibly he won't be in the starting lineup tonight. Well, we've about a minute of normal time to go here, deep in the Midlands, just outside of Birmingham. It's probably famous for its M5, M6 interchange, of course. And as the corner comes in towards the far side from Sheffield United. Knocked away once more. Bowler trying to run down the right-hand channel and might succeed in doing so. And in fact, it was Sander Berg who made the run. And it's a corner, I think, that's been given, according to the linesman on the far side. That's Richard Wilde. I haven't had to mention his name too much tonight. Did that go out for... Well, I'm not sure. The replay didn't last long enough for me to tell whether that had actually gone for a throw-in or a goal corner. It's a Sheffield United ball. And I think no one is going to go take it. Now, I wonder if it's a goal corner here or a throw-in. I think he mentioned corner. Corner it is. Richard Wilde says it's a corner, so it must be right. Anyway, we're into 100 minute. Here's Norwood's corner. And Egan gets up and heads just over from about 7 or 8 yards out, just to the left of goal. And a goal kick it is to Albion. Well, I think in the main they'll be pleased with the... There was a bit of pushing and shoving, in fact, there. Again, Robinson involved. He's been everywhere that first half, Robinson. On goal. He's had half a chance as well, but it's just not been Sheffield United tonight so far, and I think So obviously Jukanovic will have to get his troops into that dressing room and come up with a plan here, because quite honestly, apart from two chances that fell, one to Billy Sharp, which was tackled brilliantly by Dara O'Shea, and Goldrick just after West Bromwich Albion had scored. It's also worth noting that Albion did have the ball in the net twice before that, which was disallowed for offside, as the half-time whistle has been blown by referee Matt Donahue. So an own goal from Jack Robinson from a Darnell Furlong long throw from the right-hand side is the difference between the two sides. Sheffield United's best chance was missed just after that by David McGoldrick. I actually thought at the time he'd equalised, but he put it wide of the right-hand post. So at half-time, that 26-minute own goal from Jack Robinson is the difference at half-time here at the Hawthorns. It's West Bromwich Albion 1, Sheffield United 0.
Thank you very much, JB. And we'll be back with JB in plenty of time for the second half, as West Bromwich Albion look to get another win under their belts this season against the Blazers, while the Blazers look to try and get the first goal and the first win of their campaign after losing on opening weekend to Birmingham City and then drawing another weekend against Swansea. But they're currently losing today against West Bromwich Albion at the break. Round the grounds then in the after. Some of these games in the Championship, rest of the games in the Championship are going to get underway. Being back underway round about the grounds, up and down the country right now. It's currently Birmingham City 0, Bournemouth 0, Hull City 0, Derby County 0, Middlesbrough 1, QPR 0, and Nottingham Forest 0, Blackburn Rovers 0 in the Europa League at half time in the qualifying round. Celtic are currently beating AZ Alkmaar by a goal to 0, and that is at half time. And as I mentioned, and I put in the chat between both the commentator, myself and Mike during the half time, we understand, the commentary understands that Arsenal have agreed a deal in principle with Sheffield United for Aaron Ramsdale. The deal for Ramsdale is worth an initial 24 million with a further 6 if Ramsdale becomes Gunners' long-term number 1, and the further 6 will be in add-ons should Ramsdale become the long-term Gunners' number 1. And we'll get the thoughts of Mike Orman on that in a few moments. But first of all, we've got Mike with us here now. And Mike, a very good evening to you, my friend. What have you made to that first half? A couple of disallowed goals from West Bromwich Albion, and miss by David McGoldrick shortly after West Bromwich Albion took the lead. So West Brom lead at the break. What do you make to that first half? And do you reckon those offside goals were the correct calls? Because for me, the winner, my friend.
Yeah, hi Russ. I think, to be honest, West Brom thoroughly deserve to be ahead in this game. I think that, when you look on the balance of play, they've been the better side. They deserve their goal. It deserves to be 1-0 up. I do agree that both of the offside goals, the officials got them right. I do think they were both offsides, and the calls were correct there. But in terms of the overall value of the 45 minutes, I think West Brom thoroughly deserve to be ahead, and I'm quite impressed by how they've been playing as well. That's Darnell Furlong has had a very good game so far. There's been a number of standout players in that side as well, but Darnell Furlong certainly one I did want to single out in that first half performance. I thought he's had a very good game so far.
Yes, absolutely, man. Before we go into some other thoughts of that first half, and we'll just go through some of the comments as well. Being a Twig is tuned in, it's live across. We've been played so his viewers can listen to while he plays some games on Twitch. He's a big listener to our channel, so a very good evening in the UK to you. I think it's morning over in Australia where Bearded Twig is, so very good morning.
I think it's Thursday over there as well, isn't it? I think it's a completely different day.
Yeah, I think it's Thursday over there in Australia, so Very good morning to you, Bearded Twig. Hopefully you're doing okay, my friend. Thank you very much for tuning in. We've also got Patrick Casquette, who says good audio commentary, and we're currently at 5:52 a.m. on Thursday in Melbourne, where Bearded Twig is. So very good morning to you, and hope you enjoy your breakfast show commentary to bring you on your Thursday morning, Wednesday evening here in the UK. We'll touch upon a few more of the touch upon a few of the chances that I can see in now. And the first off is the goal mark, and lovely long throw from Darnell Fail on the disallowed goal first of all, and you can actually see there's clearly an offside position there, Callum Robinson. After that,
Yeah, 100%. You have to agree with that as well. I do think that Callum Robinson is clearly offside there for the first one. The second one I think is offside as well. But it's very obvious there and very clear that Robinson's in an offside position, and the officials got it right.
yes, absolutely, Mike. And to me, this is the own goal now, and lovely, another long throw. They didn't really deal with it. Well, they haven't done all game. And Clark's just in front of Robinson, just putting him under that bit of pressure, which forces him to flick it beyond Verrips and put it into his own. They're very unfortunate, and I don't think even if you had, say, Bern Leno, for example, or David Gea, Dean Henderson, someone like that in goal, Mike, I don't think even them would have probably saved that header there. That
Yeah, 100%. I think even Aaron Ramsdale, of course, the man who would have been between the sticks anyway. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to get down and save that one. For me, I think, that would have still gone into the back of the net. But, I think that bar the goal, he's had a very good game as well as the Sheffield United keeper. I think he's looked pretty good. He's looked quite assured in what he needs to do. He's made a couple of saves as well. So, apart from the goal, he's not had much else to trouble him or that he wasn't able to deal with. We've actually had a couple of goals as well, by the way. It's currently now Forest 0, Blackburn 1, and it's Ayala that's got the goal in that one. And QPR have just equalised at Middlesbrough as well, and that one was by Howson. And they've actually just seen Adebayo see red as well. So there's a few talking points there and a few bits of action in some of the other championship games as well for this evening's kickoffs.
Thank you very much there, Mike, for bringing our listeners up to date with what the other scores are doing in the championship so far. During the second half, we'll put those back running across the bottom of your screen. We're currently at half time in this one, and while we're waiting for the second half to get underway, Mike, in our featured match today with JB. If you look at the deal, which we understand is going to be worth 24 million, then 6 million in add-ons, should have become the long-term number one at Arsenal for Ramsdale, Mike. Being an Arsenal fan, what do you make to that transfer news? And also, Martin Odegaard set to join Arsenal. Looks like that deal is going to go through possibly tomorrow, the Odegaard with Ramsdale deal not far behind. What do you make to those deals, Mike?
Yeah, I like Martin Odegaard. I think Martin Odegaard's a really, really good player. I was quite impressed with him on his loan spell last season. So it's quite good to get him signed and over the line, in my opinion, because he did show a little bit of something different than some of the other players that Arsenal got in their ranks. And as for Aaron Ramsdale, I think Aaron Ramsdale was certainly an upgrade on Runnison. He's certainly an upgrade on Carl Hein. He's certainly an upgrade on Arthur Okonkwo. If he can challenge Bernd Leno and get that number one spot, then it's a matter of time. For him to go and get that number one spot, in my opinion, as well, because Bernd Leno, is shown that he's a little bit frail and shows some of his vulnerabilities in certain games as well. But it's an interesting one. He wouldn't have been my first choice, but you know, football's all about opinions. It's all about being proven wrong. And let's see if Aaron Ramsdale can prove me wrong, because the guy that I would have liked is, obviously, you know who it is anyway. I think I've mentioned it to you before, the one who's suspended until about November, December sort of time.
Onana is his name, guys. Onana. What's his name? Sorry for that bad on there, guys, with the singing. But getting back to the here and now, and if you look at that miss from the goal just shortly after that goal from West Bromwich Albion, that's the closest I would have to say West Brom have come from to conceding in that first half. Other time Sheffield United have got in the box. Some fantastic clearances for Sheffield United, Mike, and from West Brom to deny Sheffield United. Do you reckon that's the closest Sheffield United have really come for you?
Yeah, absolutely. And it was almost a case of you're most vulnerable after you just scored as well, when it was only a matter of seconds after West Brom had gone 1-0 up, and, you know, Sheffield United probably should actually have been putting the game level straight away. So, you know, for the Blades, hopefully they don't rue that missed opportunity there. But, yeah, be interested to see how they can come out in the second half, and whether they're able to create some more clear-cut chances and get the next goal as well.
Yes, absolutely, Mike. Absolutely, my friend. And Mike, if I were to push you and ask you for a full-time score prediction in this game, what are you going for, Mike? Do you reckon Sheffield United will equalise, or do you reckon it'll end up being potentially 2-3, maybe even 4-0 to the...
I think that West Brom, as the home side, I think they've got to certainly be up there and one of the favourites for promotion this season. And if they're going to do that, I think they have to get 3 points in, you know, a game like this as well. It's a massive game against a fellow relegated side as well, who were playing, you know, against them last season in the Premier League. And yeah, for me, I think they have to get the 3 points to put them up to third, I believe it will be in the table, and put them on to 7 points. But I think they probably, for me, will go on and get the 3 points, and that will really, you know, continue their good start to the season as well. 4 points before now, and then that would, of course, take it to 7. And it'd be interesting to see if Sheffield United can come back. But for me, I think West Brom will nick this one probably by the odd goal. I'm going to go 2-1 West Brom as the full-time score.
With a prediction thing that myself and you do, Mike, on one of the Facebook pages, I've gone for a 2-0 West Bromwich Albion win. So I'm hoping Sheffield United don't score. I'm just looking on the monitor I've got here of the Gladman goal away at Nottingham Forest, and a fantastic header there from Daniel Ayala. That's the only goal there. The other scores are currently going around the grounds. 0-0 at St Andrews between Birmingham and Bournemouth. 0-0 at the MKM Stadium, where Ulster are taking on
Well,
Derby County.
actually, it's not 0-0. It is 1-0 to Derby. Derby have just gone 1-0 up, and it's Baldock that's given Wayne Rooney's side the lead after 57 minutes. That's just come through on my screen right now, in fact, as you were speaking.
Yes, he's just come through to me as well, Mike. That one, just as I were mentioning that one, and then the other game is 1-1 between Middlesbrough and QPR, and is 1, and as I mentioned, 1-0.
Unfortunately, Russ, I've got to jump in again. It's now Middlesbrough 1, the 10 men of QPR 2, and it's the Scotsman Lyndon Dykes who's just made it 2-1 to the visitors.
Goes galore going in the other matches right now as we get ready for the second half in our feature match to get underway. You hear the voice there of Mike Orman with some updates, as I was mentioning those other scores. So the scores, as you can see across the bottom of the screen for tonight, we'll just run you through those just while we wait for the players are just about to make their way out onto the field for the second half. It's going to Birmingham City 0, Bournemouth 0, Hull 0, Derby 1, Middlesbrough 1, QPR 2, 10-man QPR 2, Nottingham Forest 0, Blackburn Rovers 1 is the other latest score. And as the players now emerge out onto the field of players, West Bromwich Albion made their way out for the second half. And while we wait for the other refereeing everybody else to get ready for the second half, it's time for me to hand back over to our big match commentator for the start of the second half. Staying through the second half, he's over to JB.
Thanks, Russ. Thank you, Russ, who has really excelled himself in that half-time interval, putting the early bid in to an early entry in for potential Britain's Got Talent winner. Not, but joking aside, plenty of goals going in elsewhere there, as you heard at half-time from the lads, and I've got to be honest, we could do with some. I mean, we've had some good action in the first half. How we could do with some cracking goals for the second half. Both teams unchanged, as referee Matt Donahue prepares to get this second half underway. So Derby in front, Blackburn in front, QPR 10 men are winning away at QPR, winning away at Middlesbrough, Birmingham 0-0 of course, and underway we go. And it's Sheffield United in the strides, attacking the goal to our right, red and white stripes, and of course dark blue and white stripes, the baggies of the Albion, of West Bromwich Albion, who are boying their way at the spring stand to 3 crucial points. His Berets kicks away right-footed over the halfway line, but Goldrick jumps with Clark, who wins the header, and now Dan Garner takes it inside the centre circle. Ball breaks to Fleck. Fleck now goes back, and here's John Egan on the ball. Egan gets the ball forward right-footed, looking for the run of Sharp, and Sharp is there. Johnston just on the edge of his area. Took the ball, but he was an offside against Billy Sharp. Stephen Meredith there on the near side. The linesman there, just offside. Again, it wasn't much in it because it's a championship match, guys. We don't have the guessing game. That's VAR tonight. Whatever decision is given in these games, we have to abide by them, whether they're good decisions or not so good decisions. And a corner kick already to West Bromwich Albion. And in 15 into the second half, which means Clark and Bartley can come forward from the back. It's going to be Marriott to take the corner from the far side. And the Albion fans now just getting behind their team a little bit. There's quite a number of, there's about 2,000 down from Sheffield this evening in the Black Country for this game between two former Premier League sides who came down together last season. Here's Marritt's corner, left-footed, the goalkeeper flat, and then the ball's been knocked into the net, and I think it's been given. The goalkeeper flapped at it, and it's been turned in by Dara O'Shea, I think. And it's 2-0 to the Albion. The goal's been given, and the perfect start for Ismaili side, and Michael Verbips absolutely flapped at it, not once but twice. Lost the ball. It came to O'Shea from just about 7 or 8 yards out. It poked it through a crowd of players, right-footed, and it went into the net. He had it, lost it, and then it was stepped forward by a couple of deflections here. And Sheffield United's horrible start to the season is continuing apace. And Albion look like they're going to go to 7 points unless they surrender a 2-goal lead. No one on the line could do nothing about it. There's the goalkeeper. Had it, lost it. Had both hands on the second attempt. Completely lost it. Should do better for me. And if that's Aaron Ramsdale's replacement, I think Jukanovic may well have to think again. 2-0 to West Bromwich Albion. O'Shea with the goal, adding to an own goal scored by Jack Robinson in the first half. Both from set plays. And he will be annoyed with himself for that. There's been another goal in the game at Celtic Park. They're into the second half there. 20 minutes into the second half. James Forrest has stretched Celtic's lead to 2-0 against AZ Alkmaar in the Europa League playoff. That's a first leg, by the way. Well, when you look at the Sheffield United bench, lots of strength on it. And Ollie McBurney may well have to come on at some point. Here's Robinson inside the penalty area. Robinson darting in from the left-hand side. Robinson shoots, hits the defender. Back to Robinson again. Good tackle there. No doubt at all. Albion fans were paying for a penalty, which wasn't even going to be considered by Mr. Donahue, purely and simply because Basham clearly got the ball. Headed one again. And eager to head that one away for Sheffield United, who've got a mountain to climb now. At the moment, it was 1 point from 2 at the start. It looks like 1 point from 3. This was the opportunity for Robinson. That's the direction it came here. And yeah, no doubt that Basham got the ball, and none of Callum Robinson. Basham, in fact, telling him in uncertain terms in Anglo-Saxon English to get to his feet. And I'm sure he'll understand much stronger words than what I'm saying at the moment. Anyway, the ball not forward and a chase on for Osborne. Out comes Sam Johnston playing sort of a Manuel Neuer sweeper keeper. Freeman is one of the substitutes being lined up. And at the moment, it's no change in any of the other scorelines. Still 0-0 at Birmingham against Bournemouth. 1-0 to Blackburn at Nottingham Forest. 2-1 to QPR. 10-man QPR against Middlesbrough. Lyndon Dykes scoring the latest goal in that game. And it's 1-0 to Derby County as well. Wayne Rooney's under fire. Derby County winning at Hull City at the moment. What a good result that could be for Rooney and his men, who have really struggled before now at this moment in time. Don't forget, we'll have the I've got to choose a man of the match, of course, sponsored by Commentary Services. Meanwhile, here's Grant towards the edge of the penalty area. Good tackle there, no doubt about it. Here comes Basham, and Basham is fouled. Free kick to Sheffield United, still deep inside their own half. Morwood gets on with it quickly, and Goldrick loses possession, was easily bullied off the ball there. And there's a little slip there by O'Shea, who thinks it should be a throw into Albion, but it's not. It's a Sheffield United ball. And again, the ball knocked out to touch for another throw into Sheffield United. Will play 6 minutes of the second half. Conor O'Shea with the second goal, adding to an own goal scored in the first half by Jack Robinson from a Darnell furlong long throw in. And the Albion on course for 7 points out of a possible 9 to start their return in the Championship. One of the pre-season promotion favourites here. Both of them, actually. At the moment, West Brom adapted to life much better back in the Championship than the counterparts from Yorkshire. Egan has to knock the ball back to Ferreps, whose goal kick isn't the best, and it's gone straight again to Connor Townsend. And Townsend now will try and cross it in from the left-hand side. Teasing cross towards the back stick and knocked away by Robinson. Looking towards Billy Sharp. And David McGoldrick will be thinking to himself now, how crucial was that miss at 1-0 after Albion had scored the first goal. Looked as if he'd equalised, but at the moment, Russ's Super 6 bet is very firmly on as regards this result, because if it stays this way, Russell have got that prediction spot on tonight. And of course, there were some Championship games. Let me just remind you what happened last night. Barnsley 0, Luton 1. Blackpool 0, Coventry 0 at 1. Here's a chance now for number 3 for West Brom. And there is the third one. It's the third one, and it's Marrett who's got it. Played in by Kylan Grant. And Marrett, from no more than 7 yards out, lifted it over Ferreps with his right foot. And it's a winning start. A winning evening for the Albion now. They go 3-0 up. Alex Marrett, the goal scorer. And he took it so well. Worth another look on the replay as I'm seeing. And really West Brom tearing Sheffield United absolutely apart. Ball's played in here by Grant. And no doubt Marrett timed his road to absolute tee. And just side foots it beyond Michael Verreps. And what a evening this is for West Bromwich Albion. It's West Bromwich Albion 3, Sheffield United 0. Alex Marrett with the third one. And Albion, one of the pre-season favourites for promotion and maybe to win the whole Championship title, perhaps. Well, they're making very light work of Sheffield United here tonight. And 2 quick fire second half goals has put them well in control of this championship match now. And Sheffield United are looking down the barrel of 2 defeats from 3. They lost to another Midlands rival. They lost to another Midlands club at the start of the season when they lost 1-0 at home to Birmingham City. They drew the next game, and now they're losing 3-0, and the goal difference is taking an absolute hammering. Here's West Brom again on the break, and it's Townsend trying to lay the ball in, but he's lost it this time. Clark, who gets the ball forward out towards play along, and can't keep it in on the far side, and it's out for a throw just shy of halfway. And it's 1-1 now at the City Ground between Nottingham Forest and Blackburn. Zinkernackle, I think that's how you pronounce it, has got the equaliser for Chris Hughton's men. Substitution being made for Albion. And, well, what a day it has been for them. 3-0 up, and now they can afford to rest a few players. McBurney being ready to come on for West Bromwich, for Sheffield United, I should say. And on now it's Matt Phillips, and Diane Garner, who didn't score but has worked hard, is the man he's replaced. So 1 apiece it is, and in that game at the City Ground, and there's going to be a double substitution. Oliver Burke is going to be the second Sheffield United sub, but I just wonder if it's too little too late for Slavko Jokanovic here at this moment in time. Side of 3-0 down with 35 minutes to go. I've got a feeling that it's going to need more than 3 goals here to save this one. I think they probably need a couple of Snookers on top of that as well. They just, apart from those 2 moments for Sharp and McGoldrick in the first half, I've got to be quite honest, Sheffield United have been poor in a lot of stages tonight, and I don't think 4-4-2 suits the squad that they've got. Anyway, here's an opportunity there, but it's knocked away by O'Shea. He's had a terrific match, a goal, and he's just looked so good at centre-back. So off comes McGoldrick, who's missed at 1-0 down just after Albion had scored the opener, has probably proved so crucial in the final, a possible final analysis when they have their post-mortem after this match tonight. Ollie McBurney comes on, the former Swansea striker, and Oliver Burke is about to come on, ex-Nottingham Forest, and he's going to replace Billy Sharp. And John Egan gets the captain's armband from Billy Sharp as well. So Egan now will captain the side for the rest of the game. So they've brought on new faces, fresh legs to try and get back into this game at 3-0. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that sure it's going to make a big difference. West Brom on just behind on goal difference, but they will be going top of the championship or near the top of the championship tonight. They were 7th at the start of play as being stood, but of course it's going to get a bit better for Albion at the moment. Fulham are the team to beat right now. They knocked 5, I think, the other day against Huddersfield Town. So no slouches. The team that, of course, are passionately supported by our friend and colleague Barry Swain. And Sheffield United now needing a miracle. 3 goals and quite a number of snookers, I think, to get back into this one, quite honestly. The way they play tonight, it's just not been good enough from their point of view. Really sharp, a buoyant blade. He's a guy that has fire in his belly and passion written all over his face, and unfortunately for him, it's not been that sort of thing. It's 2-2 now. Crooks has equalised for Middlesbrough, incidentally, in that game up at the Riverside Stadium. It's 2-2 now. Entertaining game up there. I was just looking at some Sheffield United fans as Albion win another throw to be taken by Furlong. Almost in line with the 18-yard box from the right-hand side. The towels are there again. Furlong is going to take a languid sort of run up to the byline and then to the touchline, and then just throws it in long and high into a crowded penalty area, and the ball comes through, and it's a 4-1 for West Bromwich Albion, and it's Callum Robinson, who had 2 goals earlier chalked off. He's not going to be denied this one, and Albion are absolutely romping away with this one tonight. 3 points for sure now, and West Bromwich Albion are absolutely proving a tough nut to crack in the Championship. They have been so impressive tonight. As much as Sheffield United have been poor, West Brom have been impressive. And again, they haven't switched on for the long throw, Sheffield United. And was there a foul on the goalkeeper potentially? But Bartley won the header. The goalkeeper doesn't think it was a fair one. Let's have a look at it again in a closer inspection. It's a bit of a crowd scene there. But Bartley gets the flick. And in comes Robinson onside. I don't think there's anything wrong at all with that. And Sheffield United are being absolutely taken well and truly to the cleaners. Those on throws proving so imperative. I'm just wondering what that might be. Potential handball perhaps? I don't know. It looked a fair goal to me. 4-0 anyway. And Sheffield United, who had, well, the win chances now are at absolute 0 now. 4-0 down, half an hour left. 9 shots to West Brom, 3 to Sheffield United. But the true statistic is 3 have been on target and all 3 have gone in, plus the own goal. And Sheffield United have not had 1 iota of a shot on target. West Brom, as big stand, will be top of the Championship tonight. And they are the team now officially to beat. The goalkeeper for it has had a terrible first 20 minutes of the second half. All at sea on the 3 goals. And then Johnston hitting it against Oliver Burke. But Sheffield United here, well, I think a lot will have to be said about the start they made. Defeat, a draw, and it looks now an impending defeat here at the Hawthorns tonight. And you look at that squad they've got, most of it's unchanged. Of course, Ramsdale is practically on his way now to Arsenal, if reports to be believed. Reported £30 million, 32 million pounds. Some of it, of course, is in add-ons. But I think, obviously, the formation as well. Tactically, they've not been good enough. The formation does not suit them. They suit the 3-5-2, which served us so well for so many years under Chris Wilder. Free kick to Sheffield United on halfway. And, well, glove faces now on that Sheffield United bench, of course. I don't know what's happened to them, really. There's been another goal. Willock has scored for QPR, not Joe Willock, but another Willock has scored for QPR, 3-2. They've got 10 men on the field, incidentally, Queen's Park Rangers, and they're winning 3-2 at Middlesbrough. Good game up at the Riverside. 5-goal thriller there. We've had 4 tonight. We've had our fair share. We've had our fair share here tonight. No goals at no goals down the road, incidentally, at St Andrews between Birmingham and Bournemouth. But plenty of goals elsewhere. We've had it's 1-1 at Forest. It's 1-0 to Derby County, 3-2 to QPR, and 4-0 here to West Bromwich Albion as things stand at the moment. And a goal has just got, and apparently it's, well, my dark horses are losing. Bournemouth are winning 1-0 at Bournemouth. Dominic Solanke has just scored for Bournemouth, 1-0. The Cherries lead against the Blues. So it looks like a mixed night for the night for the West Midlands clubs, with West Brom winning in this game here. Birmingham just down the road, losing 1-0 to Bournemouth, who are another one of those potential contenders for promotion. But it's very early on in the season to start making bold predictions and wild statements, certainly from a Sheffield United point of view, but I'm sure their supporters would have hoped with the fixtures they had on show, they would have liked to have taken what West Brom are going to get, 7 points out of a possible 9. I think they would have expected that at the start, and it looks as if they're only going to get the 1 point. I know there's a ball not forward down the left-hand side, but Johnson quickly out of his goal. All the likes of McBurney or Burke could get there. It's damage limitations now for Sheffield United. For the next sort of 25 minutes plus stoppage time, it's going to feel like a training game for Albion now. They know that the points are won unless they really go off this, unless they really doze off heavily. Sheffield United in 4 times, which I can't see happening now. It's Chris Willock, and that is Joe Willock's brother, I'm told. So that clears up that little mystery. It's various now for Sheffield United, looking a well-beaten side. I could just tell in the body language of the two teams who's looking confident, who's looking the more likely scorers, and it doesn't look like Sheffield United. Norwood knocks the ball forward. Can they find something here? Burke was offside, so he had to wait there. Here's the cross from Bolduc, hits the defender, which was Townsend, and a throw-in. It is to Sheffield United, trailing 4-0 here in the Championship. And then look, a very sorry excuse of a side, it's got to be said, as Norwood tries to lay in Bolduc, but he's lost possession. Bash him in with the next to win the next ball. A little chase on here for John Egan just to hook the ball back to his goalkeeper, Michael Verrips, who's had a horror show of a second half. And I think at least 2 of the 3 goals that have got him past him in the second half, 4 in total. I think 2 have been his fault, and the other 2, the first and the third, he's had absolutely no chance. But certainly, I think on the second and the third goal, or the 4th goal, I think he could have done a lot better. West Brom coasting to victory here as we stand at the Hawthorns, and they're on the course to try and make it 5. Grant is up in pursuit, but John Egan got back there. It's a bit of chasing and experience for everybody in from the Blades, who have certainly been blunted tonight. There's no doubt about that, to quote an old phrase. And here they come now, charging down that far side, and Burke runs out of pitch, and Sheffield United's luck is certainly running out by the bucket load now. Change of bandage there for Connor Townsend. Matt Clark just helping him out there, but just watching the replay of Oliver Burke there, just running down sort of a blind alley, if you like, as we go past the halfway mark of the second half now. Good strong defending there by Kyle Bartley. He's been a rock at the heart of that Albion defence this evening, not giving people like Burke too much of a slip. Although he was found wanting on the opportunity from McGoldrick at 1-0. If that goes in, as we all know, it's a completely different ball game. And I've got to choose a man in the match, and it's increasingly like it's going to be a West Bromwich Albion player. Here's McBurney in pursuit on the right-hand side. McBurney's cross, looking towards Burke, and a good challenge again. Bartley getting back there, and the very last second just to just put him off the scent a little bit. Basham now under pressure, and the ball ushered back. I think there was a foul there, actually. Free kick. It is to Sheffield United, who trail by 4-0. And the ball not forward now towards the far side. Osborne trying to take on Furlong on this far side, the left-hand side. And it goes to Fleck. Fleck now has to turn. John Fleck. There's the cross coming in, and too close to Johnston from the left-hand side, that cross. Really poor cross there, and Sam Johnson said, I'll take that, no problem at all. I've got that under complete and utter control. But positive from Sheffield United. There was the chance there for Burke. And well read again. And in fact, I think it might have been Callum Robinson who got back there. No, I don't think. No, I'm not sure if it was Callum Robinson. But anyway, doesn't matter. Whoever got back there did a good job. So to have So West Bromwich Albion tonight, 4-0 they lead, and then looking so comfortable now as the ball is now with Phillips. And Phillips now running towards the area, trying to lay in Robinson, and Robinson's inside the box. It's Callum Robinson. Turn back to the cross from Townsend, and that should have been number 5. It wasn't. Darnell Furlong came charging in at the far post, the right-hand post, and from inexplicably from something like 4 yards out, has managed to side-foot it over the crossbar. It's lovely football again from Albion. Lovely first-time cross from Connor Townsend. And, well, you have to fancy Darnell Furlong even. I think he should score there. May just have got underneath it a little bit, but if it had gone in, I don't think no one would have begrudged Albion a fifth. It may have actually shaped the centre of the crossbar as well as it came flying in there. But it's been a 4-star performance by the Baggies, who have really blunted the blades. Ball has been lost rather silly there by Berg. And the body language tells you that Sheffield United look a sorry side now. We're inside the last 20 minutes of this game. 7 fouls committed. It's not been a dirty game, just the 1 yellow card. 7 fouls committed for Albion, 1 to Sheffield United. So it's been a good all-action game. And the referee, Donahue, is actually going to be given a bit of credit because he's given the game every conceivable chance to flow. And I like that in a referee where he's giving it every conceivable chance. I just love it when I get given games like this where I can just describe the action non-stop. Here's a chance now for Osborne, who wins a corner. Whilst that corner is going to be taken, let me just try and keep you up to date with what else is going on. His dad, Paul, would have scored that. Paul Furlong, of course. And we're going to see the end of Sander Berg. And we're going to see Luke Freeman come on, as Mike suggested he should have done it a lot earlier. And maybe if he had come on, then maybe
having a few technical problems with JB at the moment. We will get him back.
I'm back.
Very, very soon.
I'm back.
The Rovers have taken the lead in this Forest 2-11 on 86 minutes. Back to JB.
Yes, I'm back there. Sorry, I switched off my mic, but by accident, a little bit technical issue there. But while I was away for about 2 seconds, we had a header came in, and Sam Johnston, who hasn't had that much to do, made a fantastic save. John Egan was about 6 yards out when he made that effort, and Johnston proving why he's international class at this moment in time with a fine two-handed save, just pushing it wide. And the Sheffield United supporters trying to look philosophical about the whole situation at the moment, but I'm not sure what they've got to be philosophical about. Their team have just been outclassed and outplayed. I think when they look back at the post-mortem later tonight, when they get back to the hotel or get back to Bramall Lane, they'll know that that chance at 1-0, if that had been taken by McGoldrick, I think we might have been looking at an all different ball game in the second half. But nobody expected West Brom to run away with it. We all thought it was going to be close. Certainly Mike and Russ did. Mike went for a 2-1 full-time score to West Brom, and Russ just went for a plain old 2-0. But West Brom have really cut loose in the second half and have really shown their worth once again. Anthony has just scored for Bournemouth down the road at Birmingham. 2-0 it is to the Cherries there, and Mike dark horses to win the playoffs, having a bit of a bad night at St Andrews at the moment as the ball is hooked forward. They still haven't made a bad start to the season. A draw and a win from the first 2 games. Drew 0-0 against Stoke, and in a game really that they had a lot of chances, but no Birmingham win for Matt Howells tonight, our old colleague at the commentary hub, and another foul there on a West Brom player. It's Furlong who's gone charging down. Of course, the son of Paul Furlong, ex-Chelsea, of course. And there's going to be a card. Is it from McBurney? I think it's McBurney. I don't know who the referee, just trying to go through the motions. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's blatant obstruction there from Ollie McBurney. I think it's made out of frustration more than anything else, and you can understand why he's done it, but there's no excusing that. Has he not been booked? I don't think he's been booked. It's just a free kick to West Bromwich Albion. It's a game that's remarkable in the sense that we've only had one yellow card. Mind you, we haven't seen too many clear-cut, horrible challenges. We did have a bit of a flashpoint, of course, with earlier on, but really nothing really to write home about at the moment. It's not been a dirty game. McGoldrick was the man who got the booking, incidentally, because of his misdemeanors with Furlong, who's now going to take another long throw. And in line this time with the 6-yard area of Sheffield United. Now, the long throws have been very profitable. There's been a red card at Nottingham Forest. Jordan Lawrence Gabriel has been sent off. So, Forest, sorry night continues as their sorry start to the season continues. Now Reg Spurley in the bottom three, and possibly Sheffield United are going the same way here as Furlong is going to take another throw in from the far side this time, the right hand side. The last time he took a long throw, it led to a fourth goal. Will there be a fifth one? Here's Furlong, throws it deep into that penalty area again. This time the goalkeeper stays at home and actually makes a good save and palms it away. Couldn't tell who got the touch in there. There was quite a lot of people inside that penalty area. Here's Phillips now on the ball, blocks the ball back. Chance here for the cross, and it's a good cross towards the back post. But Sheffield United have got men back. We'll try and get a replay and try and work out who got the header in for you in just a second or two. But what I can say is that those long throw-ins have proved so profitable for the Baggies tonight, the West Brom guys. And I think Ferrets now. Let's have a look who got the final touch. It was Bartley, I think. Let's see. I'm just looking there closely. Yeah, Bartley's header. Good save from the goalkeeper. It wasn't indecisive that time. It was Kyle Bartley's header. Goalkeeper having to dive away to his right as he looked and made a smart save. And we're going to see a substitution now for West Bromwich Albion. Knowing that the game is 1 now, Jake Livermore going to come off. And we're going to see Sami Ajayi come on now. So Sami Ajayi comes on. So he now comes on, Sami Ajayi, number 6. So we're remaining quarter of an hour or less, of actually less than a quarter of an hour to play. And well, it's been an open and shut case tonight in the Championship. We thought it was going to be a very closely fought game. It's been nothing of the sort. Here come Albion again with Phillips towards the edge of the area. Still chances available here. Furlong has made a good break and across the face of the goal. And, well, Callum Robinson had an opportunity there. It was a good cross from Darnell Furlong. He's having a terrific match. Good right-footed low cross. Phillips had made the break. Mowat carried it on. There came the cross, and, it was just... I think if he were wearing about size 12 boots instead of size 7, then that would have been number 5. Mowat with a lovely ball to Furlong. Yeah, just a little bit too far in front of Callum Robinson there, looking for his second goal of the evening. West Brom's 5th. It has been a tough examination of Sheffield United tonight. I don't think there's much doubt about that. But we've had lots of good action there. We had a Soccer Saturday type half-time thing. Goals going in left, right and centre.
We've appeared to lose JB for a moment. We will try and get him back as soon as possible. We will try and re-establish our lines to JB. Just a few technical issues there, so I'll just run you through the game as we see it unfold. Obviously, Kanovich is on the screen right now, looking on as this Sheffield United side are losing by 4 goals to 0. with Sheffield United just having the ball at the back, just knocking the ball around. Let's hand back over to your match commentator. He's back over to JB.
Thanks, Russ. And just again, I had one or two I just had one or two technical errors there, guys. So I'm back with you again. But with 10 minutes to go now, as we pick it up again, we bash him on the ball. It's really been a one-way traffic in terms of the way the game's gone. Here's Norwood now knocking the ball forward, but West Brom are certainly favourites for a reason. They've played some really good stuff throughout the entire match and have looked absolutely superb tonight. Very entertaining stuff. Sheffield United, well, Jukanovic has got a lot of work to do, I fancy, if they're going to have a real opportunity of trying to make a promotion push. With the way things are going, it could be doing as well to try and fight their way out of a relegation scrap, let alone anything else. Here's Basham now on the near side. Basham down the right-hand side. Uses Bolduc. Bolduc now has to turn back. Bolden trying to go around a blind alley, so to speak. He's probably made about 40, 50 yards and he's been tripped. So a free kick to Sheffield United. Full-time scores coming in now. Birmingham 0, Bournemouth 2. That's a full-time score. Not too far away at St Andrews. Time to play in this one. West Brom 4, Sheffield United 0. Bolduc winning the free kick. Been a tough old examination, and for Sheffield United, whose form has sort of dipping form has really continued in this calendar year. I think they'll be glad for the year 2021 to be over, quite frankly. We've got Clark just on his oranges there, just slightly injured, or maybe a little bit of cramp, I'm not quite certain. We've had nearly 81 minutes of the game. 4-0 it is. And here is Norwood to take the free kick, or will it be Oliver Burke? So we're going to see another substitution for Albion very shortly. And they've certainly had a good night at the office this evening. So it looks like Norwood potentially now with the right foot to swing this into the penalty area. Again, referee Donoghue just making sure that everyone's not jostling for position or illegally jostling for position. See what they can cook up here then from this free kick. It's going to be Norwood right-footed into the area. And a header one and well over the top. McBurney's header over the top for a goal kick. Full time at Celtic Park. Celtic 2, AZ Alkmaar 0, Hull 0, Derby 1. Great result for Wayne Rooney's men, and a vital result on the road when you consider that they had an awful away day against Peterborough. They were 1 up going into the last couple of minutes and lost 2 late goals at London Road. Off comes Matt Clark now for West Bromwich Albion with 8 minutes plus stoppage time left to play. And he's getting a standing ovation from the Hawthorns. Full house tonight. And they've enjoyed every minute. Adam Reach is going to come on for the final 8 minutes and enjoy the party now for the next 8 minutes here at the Hawthorns. Forest 1, you know who 2. And as a Burnley fan, I have to say that through gritted teeth. But they've got a victory now tonight. Here's West Brom. They've got a goal kick. And it's Johnson who kicks away right-footed. Furlong trying to win the header. 11 shots to 5 in West Brom's favour. On target. 4 for West Brom. Score 3. The other, of course, being an own goal. 1 on target for Sheffield United. Unfortunately for them, it's been a little bit of a classic case of too little, too late tonight. Here's Bolduc again. He breaks to Basham now on the touchline. He's lost it now to Phillips. And Phillips has got a lot of work to do. Sheffield United burrowing to get numbers back, and they got enough back in the end. Norwood doing the clearing up job there. And now here's Luke Freeman. Freeman turning nicely away from the defender Townsend, but poor ball really, and Reach was able to knock the ball back. And in fact, there's a free kick given there against Barkley for a foul there on Luke Freeman. So a free kick then to Sheffield United with coming up to 6 minutes plus stoppage time left to play. Good running that from Freeman down the right-hand side. And then, yeah, just catches him with a flailing arm there, Kyle Bartley. So, yeah, chasing an evening for everybody connected with Sheffield United Football Club. But it's been all action here in the Championship this evening, and we brought it to you here on the commentary hub. There's a chance on the far side for Osborne. Knocked back again. Osborne again. The ball knocked back once more to Robinson. The ball crossed it back now. In a tough examination here. Freeman has to get the ball back to Norwood. Norwood turns. Norwood hooks it back to John Fleck on the halfway line. Ball crossed in there, and I've got to think of a man of the match in the next 2 minutes. I've got a couple of in mind. Here's Baldock now with a cross into the penalty area. Looked absolutely superb. And one or two of the usual suspects. I think Darnell Furlong could be one. Callum Robinson, you'd have to fancy being another. I think Dara O'Shea's had a good game as well. So certainly no shortage of candidates for man of the match this evening, sponsored by Commentary Services. And of course, you're listening to this game on Commentary Hub 2, JB Sports, J-DAC Football, and Storm FM, all our broadcast partners for the 2021 season here on TC Hub. We're also on Twitter as well, as we see the replay of the 4 goals. But we're also live on Periscope, Twitter, and Twitch as well. And of course, hashtag TC Hub in your comments as well, please, if you'd like to comment this evening. With 4 minutes to go, and our streaming partner for this season is sponsored by Melon, and a nice app it is too. Give it a try, folks. You enjoy it. 4 minutes to go. West Brom 4, Sheffield United 0. It's been a chasing an evening for Sheffield United, no doubt about that. Commentary sandwiches. Yeah, let me confirm it. Commentary services, not commentary sandwiches. Anyway, it's a throw into West Bromwich Albion. They were 4-0 up, and it's Connor Townsend taking it short to Matt Phillips. Phillips turns and lays a good cross in there towards the back post. Furlong is coming in on the far side, and the ball is hooked out. So I'm going to make my selection for man of the match, sponsored by, yes, you guessed it, Commentary Sandwiches. No, Commentary Services. Commentary Services. Just winding everybody up. And I'm going to give it to a player who has been an absolute storm. Hasn't scored, of course, but his assist making has been brilliant. The long throws and the set pieces have been absolutely on the money. I'm going for Darnell Furlong just for all that. He's not just for the long throws, it's the corners that he's taken that have led to mistakes being made. And he's boundless running up and down that right-hand flank. He's been absolute joy to watch tonight. So the man of the match, sponsored by Commentary Services, is going to go to Darnell Furlong of West Bromwich Albion. Meanwhile, here's Baldock now for Sheffield United, a well-beaten side. Luke Freeman now, former Arsenal trainee, crosses into the back post. It's going to run harmlessly out of play, and a goal kick given to West Bromwich Albion. So man of the match just been confirmed there. Mike agrees with the decision. It was a tough decision tonight. We knew it was going to be a West Brom player. I don't think there was any doubt about that. But who, I wouldn't have known. But I've gone for Furlong, and I think he's a universally popular choice anyway. 2 minutes to go, plus any injury time at the end of the match. And Jukanovic looks a very ashen-faced man. All suited and booted, but very, very glum and ashen face. I think there'll be a few choice words said in that dressing room after the game. But full time at the Riverside Stadium. Middlesbrough 2, QPR 3. There was 10 minutes of added time at the end. And no way back for the Warnock's men. He'll be seething at that, Mr. Warnock, that's for sure. But at the moment, Mr. Ismail will be delighted. Mr. Jokanovic will be seething. And West Brom have won another corner. And their fans are appreciating every effort that they put in this evening. And I'll tell you what, the locals around here have been absolutely superb. The atmosphere around the stadium has been electric. And how they'd love to finish with a fifth one now. Just to finish with that real flourish. We're inside the last minute of the 90. It's been a chasing experience if you're a Sheffield United fan. But if you're a West Brom nut, you've certainly had your money's worth now. And we've actually lost the stream at the moment, so that's a bit unfortunate. But as we try and get it back, I'll just talk you through the 4 goals again. The first one was an own goal. The second one was tucked in by Dara O'Shea. Third one was beautifully taken by Alex Mowat, who was probably going to be close to man of the match himself. And then the fourth one, Callum Robinson. And 2 of those came from long throw-ins. And most of them came from long throw-ins from Darnell Furlong as well. So it's been, as I say, it's been a chasing experience for everyone in a Sheffield United shirt tonight. Unfortunately, it's just been one of those evenings where people will not want to, where Sheffield United will want to forget. And 1 point from 3 games is no points from 3 games. 1 point from 3 games is not a good return for a team that promised so much. We're into 4 added minutes. We're back. We do have the stream back, so it's a good job I had blibbed over that. And we're into coming up towards the end of the first period, or the first minute of the 4, I should say. And well, it's been, as I say, a chasing experience for everyone with Sheffield United, and it's been amazing, to be perfectly honest. But it's been an amazing night for West Brom and their supporters, who are clapping and singing and dancing and everything else. A lot of Sheffield United fans now leaving through the aisles and the exits. And no goal yet, Mike. And in fact, I've been told that Sheffield United have yet to score a goal in the league, because they drew their second game 0-0 since their relegation from the Premier League. But they've got a chance to get one at least as a sort of a consolation goal. No one will cook this set piece up now. Can they just nick one here? Just give that score, and from their point of view, that little bit more respectability. But they've been a well-beaten side. I don't think anyone would argue with that. It's like nobody's going to go for it, I think. Let's see what occurs here. Free kick on the right-hand side. Will it be the left foot or will it be the right foot? It's been left to the right foot of Norwood, whose set plays, well, mostly his set plays are usually bang on the money. The lad born in Burnley, former Huddersfield and Reading player, well, it just haven't been good enough from his high standards, and he will know Norwood himself that it just haven't been up to the level. It's been a chasing experience, and plenty of food for Jukanovic's fort here as the clock ticks down towards 3 of the 4 minutes played. A few Sheffield United fans looking glum at the moment. It is tough being a Blaze fan at the moment, considering they had those magnificent 3 or 4 years under the brilliant managership of Chris Wilder. But since he's left, of course, there was that fallout last season about the ownership, and you know, they had a good top half finish in the Premier League when they were back a couple of seasons ago. And a lot of people thought they were going to be a Premier League regular maybe for the next 3 or 4 years, like the likes of Brighton have done and Burnley have done. Bournemouth before they were relegated a couple of years back. It wasn't to be. They finished with the lowest amount of points. They were relegated with about 2 months, about a month and a half of the season remaining in Nan. And really haven't recovered from that too much. with new management about, and that's the worrying aspect. 5 seconds of the stoppage time to play, and the referee puts the end to Sheffield United's misery. And 3 points confirmed for West Bromwich Albion. They will go top of the league as things stand. Great performance from Calvin Ishmael's side. Brilliant performance by our man in the match, Darnell Furlong, whose boundless energy and his willingness to put in good set pieces led to at least 2 of the 4 goals. The first one was an own goal from a throw-in, scored by Jack Robinson. The second one was brilliantly, was a mistake. It came from a corner taken by Mowat, lost by the goalkeeper Verez, and tapped in from about 3 yards out by Dara O'Shea. The third one was a lovely move. Mowat started it. Furlong crossed it in. It came nicely to Mowat, who finished it off superbly to make it 3. He had a good match as well. Then the fourth one, another goalkeeping catastrophe from a long throw. Flick on by Bartley, beating the goalkeeper to it. And in to the back of the net from no more than a yard out. Callum Robinson making it 4. Furlong could have made it 5 towards the end, but you just wonder now from a Sheffield United point of view how costly that miss at 1-0 from David McGoldrick could have now proved to be. Well, only Sheffield United will know the answer to that. But for West Brom, happy times for them. Happy days are here. And they're boinging here at the Hawthorns tonight. And there's going to be a nice little party in West Bromwich tonight. They're top of the championship. And the final score here, as I am back to Russ and to Mike for the final roundup before we leave you tonight here on the Commentary Hub and JB Sports and J-DAC Football and Storm FM and Commentary Hub too, and all the other social media platforms. It's finished here in the Championship. West Bromwich Albion 4. A very sorry Sheffield United 0. West Brom top of the Championship tonight.
Thank you very much, JB, as the fans start leaving the stadium, clapping off West Bromwich Albion, who virtually do a lap of honour around the stadium to clap their supporters as they leave the field. The player of the match, Darnell Furlong, just on the screen there. He had a fantastic game this evening. Valerian Ishmael clapping the supporters as he makes his way off of the field and to head down the tunnel into the dressing room to congratulate his teammates, well, his players and the coaching staff alike, for their impressive win over Sheffield United. The fans will start leaving the field, leaving the stadium very, very soon. We'll wait for them to do that. Mike, I'm just seeing on my monitor here the goal for Derby County, which will touch on the Sheffield United game in a moment. But we'll go to you in a moment, Mike. But I'm just looking at this goal from Derby County tonight. Keeper made a fantastic save initially, came back out, and Baldock scored on the rebound for Derby County at Hull City tonight. The other scores around the grounds then: Birmingham 0, Bournemouth 2, Hull 0, Derby 1, Middlesbrough 2, QPR 3, Forest 1, Blackburn 2 in the game you heard was West Bromwich Albion 4, Sheffield United. Now, before I give you the table for the Championship this evening, Mike Hardiman, your thoughts on the game tonight, and would you agree with JB? Because I do, like Darnell Furlong should be our player of the match.
Yeah, I have to agree 100%. I thought Darnell Furlong had a very, very good game. It would have been icing on the cake if he was to get that 5th as well. I think that's the only thing really that let him down, not getting that goal. You can't even say it let him down, to be honest, because he had a fantastic game. It would have just been the cherry on top of everything else. But I really liked his performance. I thought, with the long throws, there's a real outlet. They're very much like corners when you see those long throws coming in as well. And of course, as JB rightly mentioned, they did score from 2 of them. The goalkeeper for Sheffield United, you have to look at him a little bit on a couple of the goals as well. It was the second and third goal, as JB pointed out. I thought that Verrett could have done better. He didn't really put himself in the manager's plans there, in my opinion, to be the outright number one if Aaron Ramsdale does leave, and all the rumours are true that the deal to Arsenal is pretty much confirmed or near enough confirmed. Because, the rest of the side, if you look at this side for Sheffield United, they're still a very, very good side on paper, but just wasn't their night. They were outclassed in every department, and West Brom, showing why they're one of the favourites, if not the favourite, for automatic promotion and to go, straight back up to the Premier League on, in the first time of asking after being relegated last year.
Yes, Mike, absolutely. And just to recap this midweek's scores in the Championship for everybody, it finished Barnes 0 on Tuesday evening. It finished Barnes 0, Luton 1, Blackpool 0, Coventry City 1, Huddersfield Town 1, Preston North End 0, Millwall 1, Fulham 2, Peterborough 2, Cardiff City 2, Reading 2, Bristol City 3, Swansea 1, Stoke 3. And then tonight finished Birmingham City 0, Bournemouth 2, Hull 0, Derby 1, Middlesbrough 2, QPR 3, Nottingham Forest 1, Blackburn Rovers 2, and the game you heard was West Bromwich Albion 4, Sheffield United 0. So the table, as it stands, as I've got that in front of me right now, is Preston at the bottom on 0 points with a -5 goal difference. Forest in 23rd on 0 points as well. Sheffield United occupy the final relegation spot, should I say, on 1 point with -5. Also on 1 point are Blackpool and Swansea. Then Millwall are in 19th on 2 points. Swansea 20th. Blackpool, should I say, 21st. Hull are in 18th on 3 points. Reading 17th on 3 points. Huddersfield up in 16th on 4. Peterborough in 15th on 4. Birmingham also got 4 points. They're in 14th. Barnsley make up the bottom 12 and 13th on 4 points as well. If I look at the top half of the table, Derby in 12th on 4 points. Middlesbrough at 4 points as well. So they sit 11th. Bristol City also on 4 points in 10th. Cardiff have got 5 points. They're in 9th. Coventry and Luton a point behind top. They're in 8th and 7th respectively. Then the top 6 are all separated on goal difference. Blackburn are 6th with a +2 goal difference. Stoke are 5th with a +3 goal difference. Bournemouth are 4th with a +3 goal difference. QPR, after that impressive win with 10 men, are 3rd with a +4 goal difference. And the top 2 are separated by goals scored, with both West Brom and Fulham both on a +5 goal difference. And they occupy the top spot with West Bromwich top 2, with West Bromwich being top. Fulham are 2nd. So the top 6 all separated by goal difference, apart from the top 2 were separated by goals scored. So then, Mike, if you look at that big miss for Dylan McGoldrick at 1-0 West Brom, that was a very big miss in contention for the overall game today. If that had gone in, completely different game. Big miss, that for Sheffield United. West Bromwich Albion took advantage, didn't they, really, after that big miss by David McGoldrick when the score was at 1-0.
Yeah, 100%. But that's what happens when you're low on confidence, as Sheffield United are, though. As I mentioned to JB, and JB mentioned throughout the commentary as well towards the end, that Sheffield United is still yet to score a league goal in their opening 3 games. They only scored 1 against Carlisle in the League Cup, and that was Ryan Brewster, who was on the bench today. Didn't even get to see any action at all. And maybe that's something that they could look at potentially, something that they might have got wrong and not giving him minutes. A lot of people that I've been speaking to think that Ryan Brewster is going to go and have a really, really big season for Sheffield United, and then he's not involved today in probably one of their biggest games of the season, going away to West Brom. Even at this early stage, can really sort of show where you are in terms of your preparation and how you prepare for the season. But there's still plenty of quality in that Sheffield United side, so you can't really look for excuses, and the goals will come for them. But it's just a really poor start from them. And when you look at the back line, of course, they've got Basham, Egan, Bulldog, Robertson. Of course, they're all playing Premier League last season, and we're all part. I think all part of that side that had a really good season the season before as well. So, or the majority of them were anyway. And you have to look at that, and then look through the side, McGoldrick as well, Sharp, Berg, Fleck. They're all players that for this level, Norwood, Osborne, should be good enough for the Championship, and they're all pretty much Premier League players as well. But they didn't show it tonight. West Brom totally outclassed them in every department, and David McGoldrick, he's going to regret that miss. But as I said, that's what happens when you haven't got the confidence and when it's just not going for you.
Yes, absolutely, Mike. And West Bromwich Albion, let's take nothing away from them. Despite how bad Sheffield United were and how poor they were tonight, how good were West Brom, Mike, in making Sheffield United look poor and look bad this evening?
I thought West Brom were excellent. I thought first half, they had a couple of disallowed goals, rightly disallowed for offside, then went 1-0 up with a little bit of fortune from the own goal. But then the second half, I didn't expect them to go and get three in that quick succession either. As well. It was 3 goals within the space of next to no time, really. It was 3 goals within the space of, I think, something like 12 minutes, which is fantastic for any side. And certainly that's going to win you any game of football. But to get 3 goals, in 12 minutes there, one straight after half time, and then add to that, not once but twice before the 60-minute mark, before the hour mark, the game was done. So whatever Sheffield United decided to do and the changes they decided to make was definitely not going to affect it anyway. But yeah, West Brom scintillating for about 12, 13 minutes at the start of that half. But sort of about 12, 13, maybe even 15 minutes at the start of that first half, in fact. And Sheffield United just couldn't cope with them.
Yes, absolutely, man. They just couldn't cope with the fast attacking pace and threat that West Bromwich Albion posed this evening. And West Bromwich Albion currently, as we mentioned, sitting at top of the table on goals scored. They have scored 9 goals, conceded 4. Fulham scored 8 goals, conceded 3. So West Brom top on goals scored at the end at this current moment in time, and so very good to see West Brom there. And if we just look at the next fixture for Sheffield United, they've got Huddersfield Town next to the Yorkshire Derby for them, and we all know form goes out of the window in derbies, whereas West Brom go to Blackburn Rovers at the weekend as well. And with the form that Huddersfield are in as well, Mike, and Huddersfield currently on 44 points with Sheffield United on 1. Sheffield United just 3 points behind Huddersfield. That has got to be a 6-pointer, even though it's so early on in the season. Whichever side gets to winning that, then they'll take confidence and push up the table going forward for the rest of the season. Would you agree with that statement there, Mike?
You have to look at that as a 6-pointer. I think Sheffield United need to win because they're yet to pick up any points in the league yet. They're yet to score a goal. So if they can get their first goal, then that'd be huge for them. Of course, Huddersfield, I don't know if they even played this midweek, did they? In fact, yes, they did. They beat Preston. So they've got that to take into that game, a bit of confidence as well. And so it's all to play for, really. But Sheffield United have to get a positive result, even this early on in this early on in the season. Sorry, but Huddersfield certainly won't be an easy test for them.
Yes, absolutely, Mike. Absolutely, Mike. And if we just quickly turn our attentions away from the Championship for a moment, I'll be going to watch Leeds at Ellen Road against Everton at the weekend. Everton off to a good start, then a bad start for Leeds at the opening weekend. And one player I want to touch on in that who's not going to be involved, Mike, in this as as a player himself confirmed it the other night on the streaming platform Twitch, where we are broadcasting this broadcast on, as well as the commentary hub on Twitter and also on YouTube, the commentary on YouTube, commentary 2, Storm FM, J-DAC Football, JB Sports as well. James Rodriguez is not involved for Everton this weekend. How do you think that could be a big miss for Everton? Because in the game last season, especially at Ellen Road, James Rodriguez was a very influential part in helping Everton get the win. Would you say that's going to be a big miss for Everton this weekend, Mike?
Certainly, somebody of his quality will always be a miss. It all depends, on how Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison play as well, though, in terms of how much of a miss it is. But I do think when you look at James Rodriguez in midfield there, in the role that he plays, he's certainly, somebody that a lot of clubs will have to take note of, and somebody, that on his day is different qualities. He's brilliant on his day. To many other players. So, as I said, it all depends on how some of the other players perform, DCL and Richarlison, etc. But I think, most Everton fans would have rather seen him in the side than out of it.
Yes, absolutely, Mike. Absolutely. And we're going to wrap up in just a second, Mike. With you being an Arsenal fan, and we're just upon Arsenal's signings in the what looks like could be in the not so near future. The other team that you follow, Mike, was Stevenage, and they got a bad result yesterday. I know you saw that game. I just want to give our listeners a brief rundown of what happened in that game for those who didn't get to see the game yesterday and didn't see the result.
Yeah, so it was a 4-1 defeat at the hands of Bradford City at Valley Parade. And it was an Andy Cook show, really. Andy Cook got a hat-trick for the host. He scored after a minute, and then Elliot List equalised for Stevenage. And then from then, Andy Cook got 2 more goals, and it was 3-1 at half-time. And then Niall Canavan got the 4th goal for Bradford, and wraps it all up, really. Bradford were dominant. They were fantastic yesterday, and Stevenage just weren't able to control them. There was a couple of injuries for Stevenage, for Chris Lyons, and also for the skipper, Scott Cuthbert, as well, who were both going to be touch and go, if not out of the game, against Port Vale at the weekend, which will see the return of Tom Patt to the Lamex Stadium. But, really wasn't the night for Stevenage last night. A bit of misfortune with the injuries, and coming up against the striker of Andy Cook in the quality sort of form that he had as well. So Bradford victorious by 4-1 last night, and thoroughly deserved it in my opinion as well.
Yes, thank you very much there to Mike Orderman for coming on tonight's broadcast. And also a big thank you to JB as well this evening. So to wrap up then here in the commentary ups coverage, fantastic day at the office for West Bromwich Albion and the Hawthorns. A bad day at the office for Sheffield United. West Bromwich, Sheffield United for 4, and the Blades yet to pick up 3 points and yet to score this season. From all of us here at the Commentary Hub and our partners, Commentary Hub 2, Storm FM, J-DAC Football, JB Sports, thank you very much for listening. And from all of us here, good night. We'll be back very, very soon. Keep an eye out on the socials to find out when we'll be live. Twitter at Commentary Live 1 is the best place to see when we're next live. Try, guys.